Hey everyone, Jackie here with Enjoying Life's Journey. Welcome back to our channel. Today's video is a requested video from some of our viewers, and basically it's the topic of how do I feed our family on $9 a day. So if you're interested in this topic, then stick around. And so I had a few viewers ask me specific questions, so let's pull up their questions right here. Right, so Elizabeth Betty asked 3 weeks ago, she said, please do grocery haul meal planning videos. I don't know how you guys only spend $250 on groceries. And then the following week I said in my budget video, I asked for people to ask any finance type questions that they had. So Freckle Finance also contributed and said, I definitely want to see a meal plan. So thank you ladies for asking the question and requesting a video about our meal planning and how we're able to keep our grocery budget so low. I do a monthly budget report card, and if you haven't watched it, you can always check out the playlist of previous months as well. Again, I will be posting another one in a week. I always post it the last week of the month. And the reason I started doing this, one, was because we're following Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps, and we are in the process of getting out of debt. Well, we are completely out of debt now. On there, I share our monthly budget for our groceries, and we were on a very tight budget while we were getting out of debt. We were doing $8 a day. We've since raised it to $9 a day. We're going to do 3 different categories here. We're going to do one is going to be 6 factors that factor into your grocery budget. So we're going to talk about those. And then we're going to go over 6 tips on how to keep your costs as low as you possibly can. And then I'll go ahead and show you 2 weeks of our shopping trips and some of the footage of the meals that we have, so you can get an idea of what are we eating. All right, so let's jump into the 6 factors that are going to affect your budget itself. So the first one is where do you live? So depending on what country you live in or what part of the country you live in, food costs or grocery costs can vary quite a bit. So for us, we live in Mesa, Arizona of the United States of America as of right now. If you've been following our journey, we'll be pretty much nomad here in September. So we'll probably see a difference in that. So you have to factor that in. The second one is, where do you shop? So do you shop at bulk stores? Do you shop at whole food type stores? Do you shop at your local grocery? Where do you shop at big chains? Where are you shopping? So we primarily shop at Walmart, and I've done it where I've done coupons and I've shopped at several stores, and honestly, it just makes it easier for me to go to one place. And we'll talk about the types of items we buy as well. So I don't feel I need to shop at a big bulk store. I don't need to shop at a whole food store or even a farmer's market or anything like that. But keep in mind of where you shop. The third one, what do you eat? So like I mentioned, what types of food are you eating? Are you eating a lot of the pre-packaged box things? For instance, my girls like the Lunchables. Are you buying them packaged? Are you buying a lot of fruit and vegetables? Are you buying a lot of soda? Like basically, what types of food are you buying? And when you're buying them, are you buying them in bulk? Are you buying them name brand? Are you buying off brand? So consider that. The fourth thing, the size of your family. So obviously everyone has a different size family, whether you're just a single person or you have a family with 8+ people. So you have to take that into consideration. We are a family of 4. Okay, so that brings me to the next one though, which is the size of your family members. Okay, so yes, we are a family of 4. However, I have 2 small children, age 5 and almost 2. And then it's my husband and myself as well. My husband and myself are very petite people. I'm only 4'11", and you guys may not even be able to tell that on video, but I'm only 4'11". My husband is only 5'3". So we're not very big people in general. And then again, we have 2 smaller children, so it's not 4 average size adults. So you keep in mind the size of your family members. And then the last one's going to be your financial goals or your financial situation. So like I mentioned, our budget was really tight when we were trying to get out of debt because we were just penny pitching. Now we're out of debt, we've raised it slightly, and then we will continue to raise it as our children grow. And as we start feeling more comfortable once we've had our emergency savings in place and things like that. So those are just those are six factors to think about when you're coming up with your budget. So for instance, I mentioned $9 a day. Now, I don't go shop every day and say I have $9 for the day. We do a weekly shopping trip and we try to keep it around $60 a week, or a total of right now about $280 for the month. Now, depending on the days of the month, our budget might be smaller. For instance, if there's only 30 days in the month, then it would be about $9 shorter for the month. So we just basically, the way I come up with my budget is I say $3 per person. So $3 for myself, $3 for Ricky, and then I count my two girls as one adult. So we have 3 adults at $3 each, giving us $9 a day, and then I will times that for however many days are in the month. So for July, it basically came out to $279, so I went ahead and just said $280 is our budget for July. Also, when I mentioned about my food, our monthly grocery budget, I want to make note that this does not include eating out. Our eating out money is categorized in our fun category of our budget. So we'll probably eat out once or twice a week, and that's usually towards the end of the week before we're going to go shopping again. We always do at least 1 or 2 meals eating out, and we don't go to fancy restaurants or nothing. It's just, a quick fast food, McDonald's, Taco Bell, all that normal stuff there. So keep that in mind as well, that your grocery budget is not the same as your eating out budget. Keep those, if you can, keep those separate. Also try to eat at home as much as you can, and it's going to help the cost of your food be quite a bit less. Think of that when you're making out your budget. So now let's go into some 6 tips I have for your basically meal planning and shopping to keep your costs low. So the first one, and this works well for me, is to have a list of all of your go-to meals or recipes. And it doesn't have to be a written list. Mine's pretty much mental. And just take note, because you're going to realize that you tend to buy the same things or make the same meals pretty much all the time. I would say at the very most, you probably have 30 different meals. But really for us, we have about, let's say, 2 weeks worth of different meals, and we just keep rotating through those. So have a list of your go-to meals. And then the second tip I have, take it one step further when you're actually making your meal plan and just make it simple. Find all of those meals or all of those recipes that uses the least amount of ingredients. One, it's going to save how many ingredients you need to buy, so it's going to save you the money of it, but 2, it's going to kind of keep you motivated to continue to cook because it's not going to take as much time. It's going to be a lot easier to keep you going cooking at home. All right, so tip number 3, so this is when you're actually getting together your shopping list. The first tip I have is to shop your own kitchen first. We don't have a bunch of stuff on hand. I usually just shop for what I need for the week, and then that's how it goes. So a lot of times I may not have a lot of stuff left over, but usually I have at least a little bit to get me started. And so shop your kitchen first. Think of this ahead of time. Don't buy a lot of those packaged things like I mentioned, the Lunchables. Instead, what we do is we make our own Lunchables. So we buy the crackers separately, we buy the ham, the sandwich ham, and we buy cheese. And this way my girls get to switch up what kind of cheese they get. Sometimes they get string cheese, sometimes they get they're like 2 types of cheese, kind of together, like the little things. And it's a better cheese than those Lunchables. Those Lunchables are just like a little bit of American cheese. It's not even that much. Same thing, they get a good quality sandwich meat, and they get a little bit more than just a little bit of stack. And that, if you buy those, a lot of times, well, before it used to last us almost 2 weeks, but now that our youngest is getting older, she's eating more. So now those will last us a week, but it still saves us overall, instead of if we were going to be buying you know, say 14 Lunchables by buying those 3 things. So that is something to think about. If there's something that you guys really like, but it comes kind of already packaged, yes, it's convenient, but it's also going to save you money if you put it together yourself. So just think of that. Always go to the store with a shopping list. I've made the mistake several times of not having a shopping list, and I end up going $20 over budget. But so think of this before you actually get there about what you're going to make, what kind of meals you're going to make. You're going to see the sample meals that we do. But I'm going to go back to that. And I hate to use this word about buying junk food. I hate to use that word, but I didn't know what to categorize it as. You know, soda, juices, chips, Pop-Tarts, there's all of those cookies, all of that stuff. So what we do is we limit ourselves. One, we limit ourselves on it because it's just not good. It's not great for you to be eating it. So what we do is on every shopping trip, my daughters are allowed to have what we call one sweet treat. So I rather call it a sweet treat than junk food. So they can have one sweet treat and they get to pick that out. And that could be anything from what they like to pick out are things like Pop-Tarts or popsicles, or they'll do fruit snacks, or if they want a juice or something like that. And so kind of try to start limiting yourself on buying that type of snack food and go towards for our snacks, we usually do fruit and some type of dairy. That's usually a good snack that we do, but you'll see that in my sample meals as well. And then the final thing when you're actually getting the item is to either shop the store brand or actually be price conscious. So what we do, say I want pasta sauce. This is probably one of the few items that I really do prefer a certain brand, a certain name brand. However, I will still look at all of my choices and I will find whatever the cheapest price is. So I don't use coupons. A lot of the coupons are basically for those boxed items or those name brands or some of the foods that we don't really eat anyway. So coupons to me do not work. They're not effective. But if I just shop the price, and it doesn't matter if it's on sale or not, I just look at the price. Because if you think about it, just because something's 50% off, there still might be another brand that's cheaper than that one that was on sale. So I just flat out, I look at the price and say we have 2 or 3 options that are all the same price, then I'll pick whatever option I feel I like out of that, if that makes sense. Yeah, so those are my 6 tips to keeping your grocery budget or even your food budget costs low. All right, so now let's go in. I'm going to give you some, so I know this video might be a little long. I apologize for that, but I want to make sure you guys have a good grasp on why my budget is what it is and how I'm able to feed my family on such a small budget. So here's some samples. All right, so here's one of our week's shopping haul, just a quick little look. So we always buy at least 2 or 3 types of fruit and some vegetables. We got these little pastas that I like. They're really easy to make. And we have some canned vegetables, a little bit of seasoning, our cheese, our frozen chicken we always get. We have a skillet, some ground beef. Ricky gets Spam or tuna fish or something like that he likes to do with rice. We have our crackers, our pasta sauce, and our sweet treat cosmic brownies, and we ended up spending $58.48 at Walmart. So here's some meal ideas. We basically have fruit and milk. We do fruit and yogurt or fruit and cheese. We had those leftover yogurts and grape. And then for lunch, the girls and I will do like a pasta and a vegetables. We have a few different paired up ones here. And then we do little Lunchable type ideas, sausage or ham. And then we have our skillet for a dinner. We did the ground beef in the skillet. Then I like to do crock pot meals. So we did chicken in the crock pot with some ingredients and some Spanish rice that we had left over. And then we had spaghetti with ground beef another night for dinner. And then we did another crock pot meal. I made my refried beans, and I actually have another video if you want to see how I make those. And we use those refried beans to do bean tostadas. So we have all the fixings here, and those were awesome. And then we do shredded chicken in the crock pot using the leftover bean sauce to make the barbecue chicken sandwiches. So we did have to run back and get buns, but all in all, we had everything. And then here is the second week. Again, we always get 3 milk. Our girls only drink milk or water. And if we do juice, that is considered a sweet treat. So again, we have our chicken, we got some cottage cheese, we have a few of our sweet treats here. We got our crackers, we got some ramen, girls like that. We got some sausages, ham, cheese, and some fruits, and we did frozen vegetables this week. And so just real quick, we spent $56.28 at Walmart the second week. So basically we did cottage cheese and fruit, our little made Lunchables, we did ramen and hot dogs, the girls like that. And here's some stuff that we actually still had in the freezer. The girls like these little TV dinners, and then Ricky and I like those burritos. And then we did the chicken stir fry. So we did stir fry with chicken and white rice. And then we did these beef tips with gravy with the elbow or the egg noodles, buffalo chicken lettuce wraps. And I have another video if you're interested in seeing about those. Alright guys, so I hope this helps. Like I said, there's all those factors to take into consideration when you're coming up with your budget. So no one's budget is going to be the same. The idea is that you make a budget that works for you and taking those 6 factors into consideration when making your budget. And then I hope my 6 tips have helped you to keep your grocery budget as low as possible, especially if you're trying to get out of debt or save up for a big purchase. It's really good to have. But always keep in mind that everyone's budget is going to be different and everyone's family size is going to be different, and whatever we eat and where we get it from is going to be different. And I'm hoping this helps you in some shape or form. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Let's put a section in the back and front.